Nope.
I'd be more excited if I hadn't had so many
Motivational speakers
already. I don't have a problem with motivational speakers. I like motivational speakers. I just had too many recently.
It's kind of hard to get all hyped up.
I had a really good one at the Rotary District Conference. He was in Poland. He told us his story of coming over. He was really good.
Yeah. What I find amazing is that my sister-in-law's parents came over on a ship in their early years of their lives to America, settled in the Milwaukee area, and made a life for themselves. When my brother and sister-in-law moved out to California 2 years ago, her parents, who had done this voyage when they were young, had a fit because they were moving across the country and away from them. And I'm thinking, wait a second, you left your whole family by crossing an ocean. Yeah. And you haven't seen your family in years because they're an ocean apart. So to chide your child for moving a couple of states away or something else. Okay, what we're going to do today, am I on timed already?
Yep.
Oh, so you've been recording before even the bell rang. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do talk about modulation first, and then we'll correct assignment second. Okay. Up until this point, whenever we've talked about a new term or a new subject in a chapter, we've talked about a definition of something, and it is a symbol of something. However, modulation is different. Modulation is a process. It's a process. It's not just a term to say, oh, that's a snare drum. That's a music stand. It's a process. It's like whipping up a batch of cookies and now we're baking. So it's a process of turning the dough into real cookies. Okay? So modulation is a process. And this process happens this way. I use darker color. We have the original key. And then we have the process called modulation. And then we have the new key. Now, question is, what do we do in this process to take us from here to here? The first thing that we're going to talk about with modulation and how to get from the original key to the new key is known as closely related keys. Closely related keys are those keys that are plus or minus one accidental away from the original key. So if I have the key of my original key is the key of E flat major, how many flats or sharps are in the key of E flat major? So I would have 3 flats. So what would be closely related keys to E flat major? B flat, because B flat major has 2 flats. What else? Say that again. A flat major, because it has 4 flats. What else? Not C flat minor, but C minor, which has 3 flats. What else?
F sharp
Not F,
minor?
F minor, because it has 4 flats. And G minor, because it has 2 flats. So those are all the closely related keys to E flat major. All right? So we know that going from the original key to the new key is going to be a closely related key, one of these over here. And the modulation is going to help us to get there. Now the question is, how? What is the modulation? What is the process? So we have all this information so I can erase some of it? Okay. Because the keys are closely related, keys will share a common chord. Just like when you're 4-part writing for Bach and you have a common tone between 2 chords, now in the closely related keys, you're going to find a common chord. So if I am in the key of E flat major, and I have an A flat chord. A flat is what in the key of E flat major? Yep, the 4 chord. Now I want to move to a closely related key. Let's go, I'm going to go and shift to F minor. What is A flat in F minor? In F minor, it's a major 3 chord. So when I'm shifting from one key to the other, I have this common chord. What I would do is I would write this chord as my, we call it a pivot chord. I'm going to pivot from E flat major to F minor using this common chord. I don't write it separately. What I do is I'm part writing my music. So I'm going to part write some music for you right now. Move this over a little bit. All right, so I'm going to do 1, going to go to the 4 chord. And now I'm going to go. And now I'm going to head into F minor. Now, how do I know where I've pivoted? Actually, I pivoted twice. Because between these two keys, we have 2 common chords. I find the accidental, which happens to be the E natural. And we know that E natural does not exist in E flat major, right? I.e., if I'm in E flat major, I better have an E flat in my music. So here's the accidental. So I found the accidental. I'm going to go back 1 chord and see if that chord can be the pivot chord. I'm going to take this away because what is an F minor chord in E flat major? It's a 2. So it's a 2 chord, and then I'm going to pivot, and it's also a minor 1. And from here on out, then I do this. I do F minor, and from here on out, then I do my Roman numeral analysis in F minor. Okay. Again, this is the common chord. It's also known as the pivot chord, because I'm pivoting from E flat major to F minor. Clear as mud? Okay. So I'm using that common chord modulation, pivot chord modulation, to take me from one key to the next. Okay. How do I know it's a modulation and not just a borrowed chord or a passing tone? Any ideas?
Well, we gotta look at the context of the rest of the song that follows.
Right. You would have to look at the remainder of the song to see, are there more accidentals happening? And sometimes you're actually going to see a key signature change. And I'll mention that in a moment. So that's a pivot chord modulation. The next type of modulation, again, that's going to occur with closely related keys is called chromatic modulation. Chromatic modulation, and I'm going to have you turn to page 316 at the bottom. Chromatic modulation occurs at the point of a chromatic progression that involves one or more tones. Usually it's a single tone. Sometimes you may have more than one. However, the letter name of the note must remain the same. So chromatic modulation is a chromatic movement of one